Identify the b term, then use b to complete the square and write as a binomial squared. The first thing that I want to do is identify the b term, and the b term is quote unquote the middle term, or you can say that's the coefficient of x. So the coefficient of x is 28, the coefficient of x squared is going to be 1. Reminder that we want the coefficient of x. So I'm going to get 28, and that 28, if you recall from drawing the area models, we would divide it evenly. So let's divide it by 2, and 28 divided by 2 is going to give us a total of 14. Once we have the answer, we're going to use the answer and multiply it by itself. So 14 times 14 gives us a total of 196. To obtain the trinomial, the perfect square trinomial, we're going to get x squared plus 28x and add 196 units. Moving on to the binomial, we're going to get it by recording the length and deciding how much we need to add to the length to make a perfect square. Recall that that's determined by grabbing the 28 and distributing it evenly. When we did that, we got a total of 14. So we're going to add 14 units. And we're going to raise that to the second power since we're getting 2 copies of the x plus 14. One stems from the width, and then the other one from the length. And once we multiply the length and the width, we get the x plus 14 squared. Let's try this with another example. Now here we have x squared minus 10x. The b term, that's going to be the coefficient of x, the number that's in front of x. Here we have a negative 10. To obtain the trinomial, we need to divide this negative 10 evenly. So we're going to get negative 10 and divide that by 2. That results in negative 5. Now, once we have the result, we're going to get the result and multiply it by itself. Negative 5 times negative 5. Remember that a negative times negative is a positive, so we get a positive 25. This is telling us that to obtain a perfect square trinomial, we need to add 25 units to the original expression. So here we're going to get x squared minus 10x, and then we're going to add 25. The binomial, on the other hand, is determined by the quantity that we divided by 2. And then here that's a negative 5. This is telling us that we're going to get the length x, and we're going to have to subtract minus 5 in this scenario. We're going to raise that to the second power because, again, the x minus 5 comes from the width and comes from the length. And when we want to obtain the area, we multiply these two together. X minus 5 times x minus 5 can be written as x minus 5 quantity squared.